Hey y'all, Danielle here. I think this is the first clip of this vlog for April. I just thought I would show you really quickly. I did finish the top half of I did finish the top half of Exist for One Another. You can see my dog in the background. I started talking and he was like, well, obviously it's time to stir and get up and do things. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you that really quick. I was really close when I showed it last, but it was close enough that I could reach it, so I just thought I would grab it and show you. I'm going to put that down. Well, I did put that down for now. I won't be working on that in the foreseeable future. I did say that I was going to start my Broadway piece, and here it is. So I was hoping to simultaneously be farther than this, but also maybe not as far as this. Let me explain. Apparently my brain is just like, I want to color complete. That's what my brain wants to do. I don't want to put in one strand of a color and then move to another, color. So my initial thought was to just like put in a strand of the border, and then I wanted to work on a strand of establishing where it says Broadway, and then a strand of establishing where it says theaters. That way I would know exactly where to start the theaters in the correct position, because everything, the foundation for everything would be in place. But my brain was just like, no, you want to color complete, which I can't entirely color complete with this chart because the border color, the Broadway color, and the theater color are then used in the theaters themselves. So I'm not worried about color completing in that regard. But I was like, I really want the whole border done. So I don't know if I will. I didn't even say that. Today is April 6th, Monday. I leave tomorrow. My flight is in about 25 hours. So, and I have some other stitching that I need to do today or would like to do today. I mean, let's be honest, we don't need to do anything. I want to finish up my survivor stitching from this previous week, which I'm about 2/3 of the way done with. So I don't know if any more will get done on this today before I go, but that's okay because I just plan to work on it from my phone. I probably won't, I don't know, I guess I could take the Stitchy tablet. We'll see, but like either way, it's not hard. I was just really hoping to get, there's like a row of mainly gray buildings because they are the buildings that are not theaters, but they're like part of the map, like they're part of they encompass the map. And there's this really easy row of them. And I was like, if I could get, either get that done or that can be mainly what I work on in New York because it's so easy, that'd be great. But I really want to get that foundation in before I do that. But, it'll be fine. I will take it to New York. I will work on it in New York. I circled on the cover page, I circled the theaters that I'm actually going to. Well, actually, it's the ones that I'm going to and the ones that I've been to before. So I circled all of those theaters on my cover image so that I know like which targets to aim for while I'm there. And that'll mainly just depend on how much time I actually stitch and also, where they are in relation to other things because I don't want to count too far. But those are definitely kind of like, I think I said that it would be fun to stitch the theaters that I'm going to while I'm there. But that's where this sits right now. I don't remember how far into it I am. I'm not in the right program for that right now. But yeah, I really love it. I love how small it is. Like I thought it was gonna be bigger. But I really like how small and cute it is. Yeah, so I fly tomorrow and So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a great stitchy week. When I get home, this will definitely probably get put down, when I get home. I need to stitch my name tag for, because I'm about to go to 2 retreats, the beach retreat and Stitch North, and I would love to have my name tag. Now, I technically have a name tag for the beach retreat because that's my Acorns and Threads name tag, but when I get back from the beach retreat, I only have 3 days, so I think that probably ought to be my first thing I do when I get home from New York is stitch my name tag. And then I'm in a informal smalls exchange for Stitch North that I either need to stitch something small for that doesn't need to be fully finished, yay, or I need to decide on something that's like already stitched that I'm okay with giving away. That also, again, doesn't need to be finished. So I should probably do those 2 things with the week and a half that I have when I get home from New York. So April does not look like a month where, older whips are going to get touched. Yeah, so that's okay. Here we are. Normally I would be like more stressed out about travel tomorrow, but I don't know. The energy that I have right now is very like dissociated energy. I am having a hard time like connecting to anything. Nothing really feels real right now until like nothing outside of, what I'm doing right now feels very real. So I don't know. I'm in a pretty good position. I've got most of my clothes packed because I did laundry, and so when I was putting laundry away, I just packed my clothes. I have very little really left to pack. I need to pack my stitchy stuff. I need to pack like my meds, my pillow, which can't do till I get up tomorrow. But I feel like I'm in a pretty good position that like I don't feel like I'm scrambling. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it doesn't feel real to me until tomorrow when I'm at the, leaving for the airport. I don't know. I need to schedule my ride, which means I need to lock into what time I want to leave tomorrow. I am resisting the urge to leave like 3 to 4 hours before my flight. I don't think that's necessary. I will probably have to take something to help me sleep tonight because I actually had a rare night where I got a bunch of sleep last night. I ended up sleeping like 10 hours or 9.5 hours. So I think sleep tonight will be a struggle, which means I will just plan to take something to help me get to sleep. And yeah, then I'll be in New York. I am very excited for this trip. I've been looking forward to it. I get to see my friend. I get to see Andrew, the runner stitcher. In fact, I'm taking him I bought him some stitchy stuff when I went to Acorns on Thursday. It was their 30th anniversary. Yeah, they've been open for 30 years, which is amazing. So yeah, they had a little anniversary party. They have some new merch. You can buy, I bought a hoodie, Acorns and Threads branded hoodie. It was very comfortable. It was very nice. They had one of every size on the floor so that you could actually try them on, and it was very comfortable. And my jacket, the one that I use most, it's a very, very lightweight jacket, but I did notice a hole in, I think, the pocket the other day. So I was like, oh, what a bummer. Might be time to retire that. So that was good timing, perhaps. So I bought a hoodie. They have a mug, which I'm not a coffee or really hot beverage drinker, so I decided to abstain from getting the mug. And then what was the other? Oh, it's really cute. It's a pouch. It's like a little Notions pouch that says that's Acorns and Threads. And then I think it might say keeping you in stitches for 30 years or something like that. So I did buy the pouch. But yeah, so this has gone on long enough. I'm, like I said last month, I'm trying to I'm not even going to show you my survivor stitching because, again, I'm trying to just keep it concise, keep it streamlined, efficient, show you all that at the end of the month. But then I'm still going on, I'm being wordy and verbose. So yeah, I'll just end this clip here and I don't know, maybe I'll try to check in, show you how far I get on this piece from New York, which will be Sunday night. Yeah. All right. I'll see you on the next clip. Bye. Hey everyone. Today is Friday, April 17th. I did not check in from New York because I remembered on the last day and I hadn't packed my cross stitch yet, but the construction noise from the property behind the hotel was so bad. It was right outside my window that I was I can't film in these conditions. And then I've been home now since it's the 17th, it's technically 4 days, but it's barely the 17th, so really I've been home for 3 days. But I wanted to show you what I've been up to. So before I left for New York, I had all the yellow in and that bit of red up there. And when I went to New York, I put in all the gray that you see, which was 300. Yeah, I think it was 300 stitches. Yeah, 300 stitches. So, not great, but not terrible. I did not stitch every day. It was a very not comfortable setup for stitching, that's for sure. But yeah, so that's how far I got. And then I guess this will go away, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. I don't know. I was really bummed. I wanted to add buildings, but just doing all those color changes was gonna be too much for me. So a building goes right there, and I had wanted to do some, but the buildings are a lot of just a few stitches, So what I might actually do, because I'm such a color completer at heart, is I might have to do all the gray so that then I have all the place markers in. And then when I do the buildings, when I get a color out, I can just go to every place with that color. I think that would make my brain happier than doing individual buildings. So yeah, I think that I'm probably going to end up doing all the gray before I do any actual theaters. So that's kind of sad, but here we are. So I haven't worked on this since I came home, and it was crazy. My cross-stitching glasses were packed, in my carry-on because I had a cross-stitch with me. And also, I needed to start my name tag for my cross-stitch name tag, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to stitch my name tag with. So I came home Monday night. I did not cross stitch on Tuesday, and I did not cross stitch on Wednesday because between needing to get my cross stitch stuff out of my carry-on and also not picking out what I wanted to stitch my name tag on, I didn't finally stitch till Thursday, which is still kind of today for me, even though it's Friday technically. I haven't been to bed yet. So I finally picked a floss and a fabric for my name tag. And so I started that today/yesterday, whatever you want to call it. So here we are. My needle is still stuck in it, don't mind me. I'm gonna angle it because I think that opal is making it look a little weird. So it's an opalescent fabric. It's a 16 count from Live or Die LA, or is it Live and Die? Live and Die LA. I don't think it has a name. And I decided to go with this green fabric because the name tag, or the little badge holder thing that my friend Gloria made for me, it has bee fabric. I will show it to you when I get this thing finished. But it has bee fabric, and the background is kind of minty green, like a spearminty type green. I wanted to maybe, and then it has yellow trim. I wanted to maybe use like a yellow floss to go with the yellow trim, but I just knew it would be a nightmare to get yellow to show up, and I also thought it might be a nightmare to get the colors of green that I was liking, to get those to show up on like a neutral fabric. So I decided to do this green fabric, and then I just picked out a brown floss. It's Topsoil from Color and Cotton. And this design, which is by Frizzy Lizzy Designs, or Frizzy Lizzy Stitches, she designed a name tag pattern that I think you can just get for free. I don't remember if I had to pay for it or not. But that made me think of How I Met Your Mother. Apparently Robin says "but all the time, and when she was like on the news, and so Ted and his college students turned it into a drinking game and got wasted. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, it's supposed to have two colors. It's charted in like a pink, like a soft pink, and then like a very bright pink, like dark pink. But I also could not decide on two colors. So I was just like, you know what? It's just going to be monochromatic. I was like, I need to make a decision and just start this because I do not have a lot of time. So here we are. I've started. This, I believe I've calculated, is only like 370 something stitches. And I'm mostly done. I just need to finish my hello, my name is, and then down at the bottom, she charted it to put her Instagram handle, but my Instagram handle is way too long, so I'm gonna put my pronouns in the bottom part, and that'll also be backstitched. So the only whole crosses that are left is for my name, and that's like another 100, maybe 160 stitches. So this will go quick, which is good because today is the 17th. I leave for Stitch North, well, in less than 2 weeks now, because today is technically Friday. So, and I leave on not this next Thursday, but the one after that. So this needs to be done. And then I'm not going to end up showing it to you. I will like take a picture of it or take video of it that I can include in my May vlog, not my April vlog. But I'm doing another smalls exchange at Stitch North. And I don't know if the person that I'm giving to, it's supposed to be secret who we're giving to. And I don't know if she watches my channel. So I don't want, even though I wouldn't say who I'm giving it to, I don't want her to see it here. This is all actually, you know what? No, I will show it to you because honestly, the likelihood that I get my April vlog up before I go to Stitch North might be low. But anyway, so that's the next thing I'm going to stitch, and I'm going to stitch it on this fabric. So at least you get a little teaser of the fabric that I'm going to stitch it on. But there will be a clip either in the April vlog or the May vlog of what I stitched for that little swap. So that's the plan. But I do leave for the beach retreat. Today is Friday. I leave for that on Thursday. So I would like to get this and that done. That other piece is only like 1,100 stitches, so this is doable, except, y'all, I went and like decided to blow up my life. It's gonna be good. Don't worry, it's gonna be good, but I kind of not like on a whim. I don't want to say that, but this wasn't really on my radar of things to do. This is a great way to say this was not on my bingo card, okay? I decided to move. I decided to buy a house and move. My husband is disabled. He can do the stairs, but, you know, it's not a comfortable situation. And I hate the stairs. I hate them with a passion. I have loads of executive function issues where the stairs are a big barrier for me. So the stairs are a pressure point for both of us. And basically, like, the long story short is that I was talking to a friend, and we were having one of those like deep conversations where we were talking about like, you know, if we're being really, really honest with ourselves. And if I was being really honest with myself, is that I didn't want to live in this house anymore. But that I was like too scared, you know, and too like, because, you know, anxiety. And like, if I don't have to do something, you know, why would I do it? Like, because, and that partially is like anxiety and partially executive function. You know, task initiation is a big, big issue. So, but like, I got on Zillow, like, just to look, you know, and Zillow is like, they know when you even think their name, and then they start inundating you with emails. So, you know, I was getting the emails. I didn't really care. I would just delete them. But there was this listing for a place that came up in our like most desirable neighborhood, which is where we used to live. It's not like exactly where we lived, but it's still very close to where we used to live. And I looked at it on Zillow, and then it was not just like a fleeting thought of like, oh, that would be nice, but, you know, moving on. I sort of kind of started to spiral about like, well, how would I do this? And what would that look like? And how would we do this? And how would we do that? And after doing that for like 5 days, I was like, oh, I guess you're really actually thinking about doing this. Like, you're serious. Like, this isn't just like oh, that would be nice, you know? So I contacted a realtor who we worked with her for this when we bought this house. And I was like, hey, like, I'm open to being open to moving. It has to be the right place. Like, I'm not just going to move to move. Like, we can physically do the stairs, you know? It's not like we're in a crisis or anything. So I'm not just going to up and move for no, you know, like, it's got to be the right place. It's got to be in the right area, you know? I don't want to live just anywhere. It's got to be, you know, it's just got to be right. So, but this was right before New York. And we did actually go look at that place that first caught my attention because it had an open house. Like, right before I went to New York, it had an open house. But we were like, we can't move here because the parking situation was really, 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 really bad. And we already have a really bad parking situation, and this would be worse. So I was like, no, no, no. We're not trading one bad thing for another bad thing. So we were like, that's a no. But we had a list of like probably 10 properties that we wanted to go see. But this one property came up, and I realized, like, within, you know, hours of me flying to New York, that I really, really was interested in this property. I really wanted to see it. It was the nicest thing that I had seen out of everything. And so I told the realtor, I was like, could you and my husband go see this place and like FaceTime me? So they did, and it was a really, really hard, like, you know, decision to like speak out loud to be like, yeah, I guess we want to, you know, put an offer in. But we did, and they accepted it, and so we bought a house. Yeah, so the move date is May 21st. We don't actually know. Closing should be before that, but we don't have like a hard date yet on closing. Should be, you know, around-ish, like May 10th or 12th. So we should have it for a week at least before we have our move date. But the move is scheduled 5/21. I'm not going to be in this house anymore. So I have to pack up my entire house. And I have a beach retreat weekend and Toronto. And I have to pack up the whole house. So time for stitching is going to be limited. yeah. So, But, so I get to go to the house in person on Saturday, so tomorrow, for inspection. So I'm going to, at the end of this vlog, I'm gonna film the house and include it in the end of April, and for the April vlog. And yeah, so I'm moving. And then we have to sell this house. We are not going to be listing it until after we're out because, it's too hard for disabled people and dogs to not be in a home for, open houses and whenever an agent wants to bring clients, it's just too much. So we are going to get the heck out of this house and then, as quickly as humanly possible because I don't want to carry two houses for very long. But so to say that I have a lot to do and that I'm extremely stressed out would be an understatement. But the only way out is through. So this is what we're doing. So hopefully I will be back with when I finish this. And then, like I said, I'm going to stitch the other thing on this fabric. The beach retreat, I'm just going to take the close your eyes and pretend you're at the beach piece. And then I probably will barely be able to stitch anything here at home before I go to Canada, because I'm only going to be home for 3 days. So maybe I'll just keep the beach retreat piece out, because that would be the easiest thing to do, or beach retreat piece, the beach piece, keep that out. I have basically decided at this time I will not be doing survivor stitching anymore. Yeah, I'm just dropping it. We're dropping it. I could continue to keep track and then do it later, but I don't think so. I do want to eventually catch back up on Whip into Shape, but I'm not gonna be doing it because I think, the limited time I'm gonna have, I'm gonna just want to work on what I want to work on. So I'll keep it out just in case I decide, hey, let me do that right now, because maybe that would be easier than making a decision. But honestly, I could maybe, if I have some time, if I finish this and the smalls exchange, I could maybe work on that before I go to the beach. But yeah, so Whip into Shape, I would like to eventually catch up after we're settled, but it's gonna be really stressful. So yeah, but that's all I've got for you in this clip, which is long enough for sure. So I will check in soon. See you in the next one. Bye. Hey everybody. Today it's just barely Sunday, April 19th, and I have some stuff to show you. So I did finish my name tag. This was 2 days for me. Oh my gosh. I did the frame and hello, my name is on the first day, and then I did Danielle, she, her on the second day. So that's done. Hopefully I'll cut that out. I don't know if you heard that or not. Anyway, so that's done. I'm very happy with it. I still haven't checked my stash for some mat board, to see if I have any right now. I need to do this soon because I'm leaving in a few days for my beach retreat, and then I just don't think I'm gonna have time after I get home. But it's done, so I just need to fully finish it, and I will show you that when it's fully finished because my name badge thing that my friend made for me is so cute. So then I'll show you this now. It's not very far, but I did start that. I won't give you all the details right now, but it's a bendy stitchy Patreon pattern, and I'm stitching this for my person that I got in the small, Piper, stop it, in the smalls exchange that we're doing just as a private group. And yeah, it's gonna be really cute. You can see it's only gonna be, you know, a little bit wider. And I just really like this fabric. I think maybe Michelle had it mocked up on a green, and so maybe that's what inspired me. But yeah, so I started it. It'll be done soon. Better be before I go to the beach. So then I wanted to show you. Now listen, y'all. So yesterday, still today for me, was my inspection. And I said in the last clip that I was going to like film a walkthrough of the house. Y'all, when I tell you that not only did I completely forget that I wanted to film a walkthrough of the entire house, I forgot to take any of my own photos. I was going to take like a bazillion photos from like every possible angle because the only photos I've had to go off of were the listing photos. I forgot to take any photos. I was so like overwhelmed and anxious that I just completely forgot. I had a list of like things that I wanted to look at and measure. I still forgot a couple things. Like I wanted to look to see where the thermostat was because I just wanted to see like what they already had in place because I think I want to get a Nest thermostat, which is what we already have. But yeah, I forgot to check where that was. So there will be no video. There will be no walkthrough at the end of April because I will not be in the space again until we get keys, which closing is currently set for May 15th. So closing should be May 15th and move-in day is May 21st. So when I get the keys, I will then film a walkthrough. And then obviously like when after we move in and are at least somewhat settled, you know, I can film an updated, you know, walkthrough of the house. But at least my craft room, which my craft room will be very similar, I imagine. But what I wanted to show you, these pieces that are sitting here, I have picked out 3 pieces that I want to stitch for the new house, and I'm gonna put pictures up. But I went looking on Etsy for like a home sweet home or welcome home or that type of pattern, you know, and I ended up finding 3 that I wanted to do. So this first piece of fabric, which is called What the Hay, and it's a 28 count Jobelin from Bestitch Me. I believe this was actually no, it wasn't my fabric of the month from this last month. But you know, I get it through fabric of the month. So it's called What the Hay, 28 count Jobelin. And I'll put pictures in of the pieces I want to stitch. So it just says welcome. Now the whole pattern does say welcome, leave by 9. But I don't want it to be a snarky one. And so I'm just gonna stitch the welcome. I really liked how like pretty and floral it was. And then I like, because you'll see like my full overall plan here, all these pieces are gonna hang together in the entryway because they're all like welcome related, you know? And so this is gonna be a long, like real short, but long piece. That didn't make sense. It's going to be a, you know, not tall. That's, I don't know. I can't, words are not, it's been a long day. So it's going to be a short, but then long piece. And I like that because then, so imagine that's on the wall, right? As the top piece of this 3-piece set. And then this beautiful piece of fabric, which is a Witch's Garden Crafts. Oh my God. Crafts. Witch's Garden Crafts. The Witch's Road 16 count. I found a piece that says welcome. Oh, it says welcome to our house roll initiative, and it has a D20 and dragons. Now, there's going to be 2 pictures on the screen because the dragons that are in the chart, I'm not going to stitch those dragons. I'm actually going to stitch dragons from another chart that I had bought a little while back. So this is going to be, and I'm even modifying the initial piece because the bottom of it had some swords and another dice, but I didn't really like them. So I'm taking the pattern up a little bit, but I'm going to stitch on this. And I really just kind of wanted like this dark, moody fabric. I think black will still work for the words. The dragons I might do in some kind of, I don't know. I don't really want to use variegated, but I'm just thinking I maybe don't want to do the dragons in black. Do something else for them. And then I'm going to let my husband pick out the color that he wants for the D20. So yeah, that's the plan for this piece because he does have his D&D game friends over sometimes, like a few times a year. So I think that will be like a nice thing for them. And then on this beautiful piece of fabric, which I have had in my stash now for a while, I have been holding on to this piece for the right thing because it's so beautiful. I want as much of the color to come through as possible, you know, that I was like, it's got to be the right size. It's got to be the right pattern. So what I'm going to do, this is this pattern that I've got up on the screen, and it says everyone is welcome here, and it has everyone is in rainbow colors, and then it has hearts for trans, rainbow heart, and then the different skin colors. And I was trying to figure out how to make it work. Initially, I was trying to figure out how to make it work that like I would center the pattern in the center of the fabric. But then I was like, even with like a ton of margin, it would be really hard to get all the way down into the blues and purples, and all the way up here. Like, I mean, it would be so massive, right? So what I decided to do is to flip it, and do it in this more vertical orientation and then I'm going to do 2-inch borders, and I kind of like pulled my measuring tape across because the pattern is 6 inches wide. And then if I do 2 inches on this side and 2 inches on this side, I will get, you know, pretty much from here to here. And that will also allow me to do a top left start as opposed to a center start, which I am much more comfortable with. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like measure down, you know, make sure that I have like 2 inches of margin, you know. Well, I guess I probably want to give them 4 inches, maybe. I could consult the framer at Acorns, who's going to be framing all 3 of these pieces. So I'll see how far they want me to go down, but probably 4 inches, right? So like that's their framing allowance. And then we actually start down here, and it's only like 3.5 inches tall, right? And then another couple inches down. So I guess, you know, it's going to come down to about here. And then, like I said, 10 inches will get me red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Yeah, so it's, oh man, I love this. And then I'll still have, maybe not quite half of the piece of fabric, but like probably 40% of the fabric I'll still have left. So I could still do another project on this piece. I don't think I said, this is a Jessie dyed fabric, Mislaid Pages. They do dabble in dyeing fabric from time to time. I don't think they've dyed it in a while. But this, I can't even remember when I bought this. This had to have been like 2023. So it's been in my stash for a long time, and it's 14 count. And what's really cool is, so my vision is for this piece and this piece to be the exact same size, frame wise. And so I was worried. I was like, well, I think I need to do it like on the same count. But no, I don't, because the Roll Initiative piece is wider. This piece is 83 wide. This is 110 wide. And so by doing it on the 14 count versus 16 count, this piece will be about an inch bigger than this piece, but then that means that this piece I can just do like more standard 1-inch margin. And what I'm going to do is when I take them, I'm going to just take them all to be framed at the same time. I don't think because I want to pick out like the same frame, probably. I think I just want one basic frame that will look good for all of them. And then I'm going to tell the framer that for these two pieces, regardless of how much fabric is showing on the sides, I want the frames to be the same dimension. So these two frames will be the exact same size and be right next to each other. And then the floral welcome will be above it. And it will probably almost be the width of these two pieces, but it won't quite be as wide as these two pieces together. And that's like exactly what I saw in my head. So it's very long. This is a very long clip. I'm being very, very wordy. So all that to say, I think what I'm going to do for the next, because I'm moving basically in about a month. Today is Sunday. The move day is a Thursday. So that means it's like 4 weeks and 4 days or whatever we're talking about, right? 4 weeks and 5 days. I'm going to start all these. I am going to take Close Your Eyes and Pretend You're at the Beach to the beach retreat. At Stitch North, I'm going to be starting 1 to 3 projects that I'm just going to take. And I'm not taking any whips with me to Stitch North. I'm taking 3 projects to start. I don't know if I'll start all of them, but I'm going to be starting, they're all mermaid themed. I already picked out fabric and floss for one. I need to pick out fabric and floss for the other one. Those two are both monochromatic. And then I have a third one that I'm thinking about starting, that I'll probably buy fabric for at Stitch North, because I'm thinking I just want to stitch it on a very basic white. So I think I just want to pick up a piece of porcelain from Roxy. And then that one's just DMC. So those Stitch North projects are picked out. And then I'm going to leave on the Q-Snap the Close Your Eyes and Pretend You're at the Beach, my Broadway piece, which is already on the Q-Snap. And I am gonna go ahead and leave all my Survivor projects on the Q-Snap, as well as my Whip into Shape. And I'm gonna just have them all on Q-Snaps. And then those are the only things. I mean, that is still a lot of projects, but those are the only things that I'm probably gonna work on in the next month. But the mermaid pieces from Stitch North, I'll probably put them away when I get home. And so what I'm gonna do is once I pick that one more piece of fabric and one more floss for the other mermaid piece, all the craft room stuff can get packed up, because I'm not going to start anything else, which means I don't need access to my fabric. I don't need access to my flosses. Yeah, so moving is terrible. But yeah, so those are basically my plans. I don't know when exactly I will start, all these. I gotta finish the piece for, I gotta finish this, and then we'll see. These might not get started until after Stitch North. Maybe that's what I spend my time after Stitch North doing. We'll see, but at least I'll have some options for what I want to work on. And then I figure, even if I don't pack up, basically, like, this is my table that I keep all my, like, currently working on things on. Even if I don't get any of this stuff packed up, before the move, this all I could just throw in a duffel bag, and then that would be easy to just unload at the new house. But like all my whips and all my other stuff can just stay packed up, So yeah, those are the Survivor stitching. It's funny, I said I wasn't going to do Survivor stitching, but I might, because as of right now, there were 3 eliminations that I'm behind on from 2 weeks. They're doing a lot of like double and triple stuff. So I have 3 people to stitch for. They were all from the same tribe, so it would all go into one whip. So I could actually sit down for an evening, and as long as I did, like, I would say 2 really good strands of floss, then I would probably feel good about that. So because they're all from the same tribe, maybe I will. And I think I just want to leave them out just as to give me the option to do that if I want to. Same with Whip Into Shape. I have 2 videos for Whip Into Shape. Yeah, so keep out Whip Into Shape, keep out Survivor, have these 3 new starts, have my 2 very easy projects, which are the Pretend You're at the Beach and the Broadway map. Have all those pieces available to me for my variety that I seem to like, and pack everything else up. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna end this clip now because it's 17 minutes long, and I will check in when I have finished this piece. See you in the next one. Bye. Hey everyone. It is currently Tuesday, April 28th. And this might be my last check-in because I think that instead of stitch for like another day and give you another update, I would rather edit this video and get it up before I go to Stitch North, because otherwise I highly suspect this video would not go up until after I get home from Stitch North. So would it be a Flosstube if I didn't yawn? No. Okay, so this is what I've been up to. I have a little bit to show you here. This could be another long clip. That's another reason this video doesn't need another clip. Okay, so this is called Eerie Moth. It's by Michelle Bindi Stitchy. I know it was a Patreon pattern. I don't know if it's been widely released, but I stitched this for my at Stitch North. A smaller group of people is doing a smalls exchange, and it's a very like low-key, you know, you don't have to fully finish it, you don't even have to stitch something for it. Like if you have something, you know, that either is in your, you know, finished pile, or even if it's fully finished already and you just want to give it away. But I did want to stitch something in particular, so I was like, it's got to be as low stitch count. I think this has 1,050 or 1,070 stitches, and I had wanted to finish it before I went to the beach, but I did not quite finish it before I went to the beach. I had like 160 stitches left. So when I came home from the beach, I finished it. And y'all, let me tell you, I think I am going to give the recipient the rest of the Aida because I hated stitching on this Aida. First of all, it's a little rough. It's rougher than I prefer my Aida to be. It's very malleable, like, so it's not crunchy, but like the fiber, like between the holes and stuff, is just rougher than I prefer. And then also, I was like, you know, this feels really tight. Like, and I felt that way. I stitched my name tag on this too. And I was like, this just seems really tight. Why is that? And because it's supposed to be 16 count. That's what it's labeled as. And so I was like, let me get the tape measure out. So I got the tape measure out and I literally like put it along this like basically straight line of stitches. And I counted out how many stitches were in an inch, and it was 18. So I don't know if this fabric started as a 16 count and Live and Die LA's process like shrunk it that far, because like I feel like that's kind of extreme, but or if it was just an 18 count to start with. But yeah, it's 18 count, and we all know that I do not like 18 count. So no wonder I struggled with feeling like it was too tight. So yeah, no. So the rest of this fabric is going with me to Stitch North, and it will be given to somebody. But it's done. It's very cute, and I love that I don't have to fully finish it. Y'all, I swear. Okay, so then I wanted to show you what I did while I was at the beach. I took the hands-on design piece called, hold on, my thread is too long and it's traveling, and where's my needle? Hold please. Okay, it's called At the Beach. It's by Hands-On Design. It's a bit of an older pattern, 2014, I think. I am doing it with most of the DMC alternatives, but I did make two changes. I changed this pole color, which I guess is also the color for the text and the whale. And I changed this yellow color, which is here and here, because the colors that I pulled just didn't look like the photo. And so, but I stayed within the family range, I believe. So they're very close, but not quite what the DMC suggestions were. But when I went to the beach, I was like halfway across this wave. The whale was in, the umbrella was in, the sun was in, all the stuff above the wave was already there. And the pole was there, and the yellow line was there, and everything on the bottom was there. None of that changed. But I was halfway across, halfway, maybe only a third of the way. I was somewhere in right here with this first wave. So I finished that wave. I started and finished that wave. I started and finished that wave. I stitched that fish. I stitched this kelp, and I started this wave here. So I did like 1,300 stitches on this at the beach, which was pretty good, I thought, because Friday I like went away from the stitching room for like 5 hours. And then Sunday, of course, was only, I only got to stitch for 2 hours on Sunday. So really, I did the bulk of this on, I was pretty much there all day Saturday, although I arrived a couple hours later than the room opened. And, but yeah, I did the bulk of this on Saturday and then most of Friday. But yeah, so it's really coming along. I just have to finish this wave. There's one more wave to go there, and there's also a fish in that row. And then down here, I need to finish the words, and there's a fish down there too. And then this line here, close your eyes, and then this line down here, which will just say at the beach, I think, or maybe just the beach, I can't remember. But that line and that line are full coverage. With this blue color here will be stitched to make 2 full coverage bands. So it's not the whole thing. But so it's only like 60% done. I know it looks much closer to being done than that, but it's only like 60%, mainly because this this situation here with these full coverage bands is like still another 900 or almost 1,000 stitches. But I might take it to Stitch North with me just because I feel like this project would be really good for lobby stitching, because I wouldn't need my tablet, because I could just focus on, well, I could only really do this band because I don't have these words in yet. And I'm not planning to work on this in the room because I have 3 new starts planned. Possibly 4 new starts, and then maybe a restart. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I talk a big game, but I might not even do the 3 starts that I have planned. But but I mean, still, I could make, really good progress on this. And I wouldn't need my tablet to stitch it. And Yeah, so I don't know. It could go to Stitch North with me. We'll see. But this is one of the projects that I have left out for myself during this transition time of moving. Y'all, I recorded a 2-hour like packing video of packing my craft room and like talking and packing and stuff. But and I got about a quarter of the way through editing it, and then I was just like, nah. So that footage is gone because I was gonna upload it before I uploaded this, but now here we are. You know, it's practically time to upload this. So I was like, no, that's okay. But it really did help me, like being able to just sit there and talk to the camera, like while I packed it. That did help. So anyway, this is you know, this is coming along. Maybe we'll work on it some more next month. We'll see. And then I just wanted to show you. I decided, because then after I finished the Eerie Moth, I was like, oh, what do I do? You know, I have the beach piece, I have the Broadway piece, and then I have 3 new starts that I want to do, and then I have Survivor stitching and whip into shape. And I decided to do some Survivor stitching because I'm only behind right now like 4 eliminations, and 3 of them were all from the teal tribe, or all from the teal, you know, initially the teal tribe. It occurs to me like right in this moment as I say that like I really hope I did the right, I really hope I stitched on the right thing. But anyway, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident that the stitches I did for this tonight, which, oh, we're gonna get into it here in a minute, were for, you know, warning, spoilers, but like this is weeks old at this point. So of the 4 eliminations, 3 of them were all from the same tribe, which was teal. And so those people were Dee, Chrissy, and Coach. So I was like, oh, I can spend a good chunk of time on one project, you know? The other elimination that I still need to stitch for is this most recent one, which was last week. I mean, it's almost Wednesday again. It's almost Survivor night. And that was Christian. And he was on the orange tribe. So those stitches are going to go to Acorns and Friends. But anyway, so I was like, okay, in order to finish off this color here, this green color, I needed to do 224 stitches. And I was like, well, that doesn't quite feel like enough for 3 eliminations, but let me like finish that color off and then we'll see what I want to do from there, you know? I was thinking about maybe getting to around 300 stitches would feel good. You know, it's about 100 stitches a person, whatever, right? Okay, so, y'all, it has been a saga with this piece tonight. So I started and I put in this first, and then I went ahead and I put this in because I didn't have it at all. And then there was just like a few stitches left over here to do, so I put that in. So I'm like, okay, great, that color is done now. Now what do we want to do? And this gray color had like had about, I think, 125 stitches left, maybe. And basically it's here, and there are 2 more doodads with it, and then like it's in this little clam shell thing, right? So I was like, okay, that seems fine. So here's what I did. I counted off of this to put in the one down here. And then I counted off of this to put the one in down here. And then there was one that was like somewhere in here. And I went ahead and I counted off of this one to come over here. And it was like, I had to count to like 19, I think, which, you know, it's not terrible, but like I counted it a few times and I was pretty, you know, I was reasonably assured that it was correct. And so I put it in. But then, when I was like counting, I put it in and then I wanted to just like count this again, and then I also wanted to count this. And this was the first time I was counting this distance. And this was right, that it was like 19 apart, but this was supposed to be 27 apart, and it wasn't 27 apart. It was only 26 apart. So I'm like, okay, something is wrong, but where? Like, what's wrong, right? So I'm like, did I, put this in the wrong spot? But I'm like, but I counted off of this, and it was in the right spot in relation to this. And then I was like, well, is this in the wrong spot? And I'm like, well, it's in the right spot in relation to the tail of the seal, or sea lion. I'm like, is the sea lion in the right spot? And I'm like, well, I know I started him up here at his nose, and he's in the right spot in relation to the crab. I'm like, this wasn't in the wrong spot because it's appropriately spaced from the border. So like for a while, I couldn't even figure out what I did. I went ahead and I ripped out these two doodads because I knew they were in the wrong spot. But then I finally figured it out. This thing was one stitch too far this way. Instead of being 2 stitches away from the border, it was 3 stitches away from the border. But I couldn't figure out how it was wrong, because I'm like, this is in the right spot, this is in the right spot because of this. I was like, I don't know how I've managed to get this in the wrong spot, but obviously it's wrong. Well, I did finally figure it out, because when I was looking at where his tail is in relation to the puffin, I realized that I was like 1 stitch too far this way, because when I came down to this row right here before his tail, those 3 stitches right there are supposed to be 4 stitches. So his tail is shorter, which means this little doodad is 1 over here, which made this be 1 over too far. Okay, so I was like, all right, well, I'll just take out these 2 little doodads, but then I think everything will be okay. Wrong. Everything would not be okay, because as you can see, now that there is this shell, and this shell, and all these only have 1 space in between them all, right? Like there's only 1 space between this border and this. There's only 1 space between this shell and this shell, and only 1 space between this shell and this shell. So if I had left that there, like something was gonna touch something, and I was like, we can't have that. So I counted, and I thought that if I put this sand dollar like 1 stitch up, that like it would shift things enough to give me space. That was also wrong. I think maybe if I had come down by 2 spaces, then I would have had enough room to bump this over by 1, but that's not the way I went, and I already stitched like 60 stitches of that. So then I was backed into a corner. I was like, this is in a spot where this is going to touch it, or this has to touch that. Like there was no 2 ways around it. So I had to rip out these stitches for this as well. So what I have done here is, first I had put in this because, again, I thought if I adjusted it slightly that it would fix things without me having to rip that out. Then I went ahead and ripped that out because I finally realized, no, it wasn't going to make it okay. And then I put in this outline of this shell, and then I put these stitches back in, and I was like, y'all, I swear to God, if it touches, I'm gonna lose my mind. So I only netted, I think I did 399 stitches, which was way more than I had intended to do. I mean, not like way more, but like if I had done my plan of like finishing this gray color, I would have been at like 350. However, even though I only netted 399 stitches, I definitely did over 500 stitches on this, because I stitched this twice and that was 92 stitches. And then these doodads were like 32 stitches that I pulled out. Also, for just no reason whatsoever, when I was stitching the outline of this thing, I was coming up this side and I was like, oh, it's not gonna hit where it's supposed to hit up here. Now what's wrong? Because I don't know, I didn't know if this leg was in the right spot or not. I couldn't like quite conceptualize if this got impacted, like if where his leg is got impacted by his tail being too short. So I was like, oh my gosh, what's wrong now? Oh, nothing major. I had just, when I was coming up this side here, it's supposed to be 4 tall, and I only went up 3 for some godforsaken reason. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? So I had to rip back a few stitches. That wasn't too bad. But so I definitely did over 500 stitches, only to get 400 stitches. So now we're done. We're done with this. We are done. Yeah, so I'm almost caught up on survivor stitching then, I guess the next thing I'll do is pick up Acorns and Friends, which is the piece for Orange Tribe, which was last week's Christian elimination. And then I'll see what else I'll do. I don't have very much time left before I go to Stitch North. In approximately 48 hours, I'll be landing in, close to landing in Minneapolis. So right now it's Tuesday, 5 o'clock in the morning. I have to sleep, and then I'll get some stitching done Tuesday night, because I have to try to stay up all night Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, because I have to sleep Wednesday during the day, because my flight is a red-eye flight, Thursday, 12:30 in the morning. So the stitching that I do tomorrow night will be the only stitching that I get done before I go to Stitch North. So I don't think that I will be doing anything else, if we're being perfectly honest. I'll do that, I'll do that survivor stitching on Acorns and Friends. Basically, I'll strive for like a thread, but my threads are long. And then that's probably it. And then I'm headed to Stitch North. So, yeah. So I think that's it. This video is definitely gonna be really long. Sorry about that. I've been very chatty. My life is just in chaos right now because of this move, and it hasn't even really started yet. It really kind of starts when I get back from Stitch North. I'll have 2 weeks. I'll have about a week until we get keys, and then I'll have 2 weeks until move day. So stitching could get slow because I highly suspect that after we get keys, we're gonna spend like every day taking something over to the new house, or having to go over there to have something installed or pick up packages or whatever. Yeah, so that is all I have for now. I will end this video, put it all together, edit it, get it up on the YouTubes, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!